Hello, everyone.
Hello,
Um,
hello.
Here we are, another Messages for Lightworkers, episode 115, with my beautiful
Everyone.
co host, Marina, Heart Centered Tarot. Marina,
Hello, everyone.
thank you for joining me here today.
Are
And,
you kidding? I wouldn't miss this.
and thank you all for being here. And Marina, I just want to touch base with you and see what offerings you have for your channel that's coming up, and talk about your classes and readings that you do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So later on this evening, I'll be over on Sherry's channel. We're doing Golden Girls Coffee Clutch. And I'm looking forward to it because there's so many things that we can get, talk about. I can fill folks in. We did hear from Rose. She is really, really struggling. We've almost got enough money raised to bail her out, but they keep moving her. So we just have to find her again. Anyway, that's what's happening with our Golden Girl. Um, I do have I do have classes that the new Achieving Union course starts on Saturday, the
Mhm.
1st, March the 1st. And that's the 30-day course that is very much self-driven, where, you get to, I will send out a short video every day. It's maybe 5-10 minutes at the most. Um, and I will give you some practical things that you can do to achieve that higher union with spirit, with your guides, with everyone that is around you. It is meant to be self-driven because I want you to commit to the 30 days, and it has to fit in with your schedule, not mine.
Right.
So you get the video in the morning, um, and then you decide when you want to do it, when you want to listen to it, when you want to do the exercises. And it really does. It helps you to get thinking and to get in touch, to hear when spirit is guiding you versus when ego is trying to talk to you. So there's also the change the track, which is the default tapes that we have in our heads, and that's just a couple hours. That's a 1 day thing, couple-hour course, that helps you identify what your default tapes are that you just automatically defer to in any particular situation, and helps you examine and determine, okay, you know what, that may have been true for me a long time ago, but it's not true for me anymore. So you can change that tape, right? You can make it into something that is going to be helpful. It's also good for identifying the things that we heard, that were either directly said to us, or that were implied to us, or that we overheard someone say about us that we took as literal truth.
I love that. And
And
who doesn't have that? We've got our
ex-
childhood programming, our young adulthood
yes.
programming. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So best thing to do is, you can go on my website. Here you go, Heart Center Tarot, or Marina's heartcentertarot.com, and you can see the courses on there, or you can reach out to me by email. Go to my channel, click down in the more information, whatever. The email is there. It's easy, heartcentertarot@outlook.com, and I'll give you the information, and yeah, get you signed up. And it really is, they're a lot of fun, and they're very useful in terms of helping people move forward. If you're stuck on something, it's a good way to move forward.
Absolutely.
Readings, of course, absolutely. You can go on there, you can book yourself a 30-minute reading, a 1 hour reading. It can be tarot, it can be mediumship, it can be a little of both. And yeah, absolutely. It's a good time. It gives you a heads up on kind of what's happening. And
And
when you're prepared, you can handle just about anything, right?
you can handle it, and you can actually really accelerate everything in a good way too, and move through things faster, and
Yes.
all those good things. So there's so many reasons why you would want to
Absolutely.
do, get a reading. So and when you take classes, your guides go, oh my God, she's taking a class. We're going to give her more. They're going to put more things in front of you. They're going to open up more doorways for you. So all these things happen when you take, what is it? Action.
Exactly.
Take action. And that says to your guides, oh man, she must be serious.
Yep. She's ready. She's ready.
She's ready. So I just want to say, oh, go ahead.
And before we say hi to everyone, don't forget, you guys, like, share, and subscribe to Val's channel. Go over, do the same thing on my channel. Check out the things that Val offers. The Akashic reading classes are phenomenal. I have heard from so many people who have said it has changed the way they look at things. It has changed their life. So, for the minimal amount that you pay for the class, what you get out of it is so much more. So not only that class, but you've got a class that's coming up, a mediumship class that's coming up.
Well, I was going to talk about the channeling class first, because that's actually coming up first. In March. You can see that on dragonflycrystals.store. So the channeling class, I think it's two classes. No, 3 classes. You pay the one price. It's very minimal, and you get 3 classes, and you really are channeling. You're channeling after the first class. I mean, that's just how simple it is. And then Allie of Heart and Soul Connected and I are teaching a psychic mediumship class that starts April 5th. You might want to sign up for that. It's a 3 class sessions for that. So yeah, I look forward to all of you joining us for those. And this timing right now is so packed with all kinds of activations and all kinds of things we're always saying this, clear, but really it is you trying to, you aren't trying, you're just letting go of the 3D illusionary stuff, and it's just filtering through your consciousness. So if you take Marina's courses that release you from those traps, those mind traps, those kind of things that you may not even, it's so subtle sometimes you don't realize it. So then you will be free. You will start to realize it, and you'll catch yourself if you it brings your attention to something, brings your awareness up. So absolutely. So yeah, like and subscribe to Marina's Heart Centered Tarot and book readings with her, because this timing is very crucial. 2025 is a major shifting year. So yeah, to get on it and really get ahead of things, it's good to have that. So
things are happening. And Tea Garden Chicken took your Akashic reading class, and she says loved Val's Akashic reading class. There you go, folks. There you go. Don't take my word for it. Take Teresa's word for it.
Thanks, Teresa. I'll just stop here and say hi to Millie and Angel, Coyote Rosenbaum, which is Linda. And, Suzanne, Anna, Karen, Nettie, Mr. Floyd's Universe, Garnet, hi. Let's see, going down. You guys are talking. Lois, hi. Lauren, good to see you. And Teresa, of course. Thank you. Viviani and Chris, good to see you all here. And this is an interesting time period we're in. We'll say that about it. And I was backstage with Marina saying, man, things are just firing me up and all these things are going on. And then she tells me what she got, and whoa, does it hit the spot. So I'm going to let her start this off for this episode of Messages for Lightworkers. So Marina, take it away.
All right. Okay. So I'll very quickly tell you that this, all this came as a result of a dream. And I won't go into the details, but the one part of it was, I was sort of surrounded by a group of people, and I remember kind of standing tall and saying, if you approach me with respect, I will approach you with respect. But if you're here to do anything other than that, no, we're done. I'm not playing. And I felt like I was really standing in my power and saying, no, these are my boundaries. I woke up and I was angry because part of the dream did bring up a good deal of anger. And then I realized that a lot of that kind of has to do with, part of it is the emotional things that we are going through right now that we may not realize are kind of,
it's coming in from the mass consciousness. It's not even ours.
Yes.
And we feel that angst, right?
Yes.
And we're, yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
No, that's fine. So it was, yeah, the idea that, some of us, for those of us that are a little older, well, okay, we didn't grow up in the Depression, but it was after, some major world events where, whether we realized it or not, the talk around us was of sacrifice, of giving up, of so on. And a lot of that we internalized.
Yeah.
And now that we're kind of going through the same thing, some people are feeling the fear and they're not able to identify it because there isn't anything particular that they can put on it.
Exactly.
And that's a lot of that things that we heard in our childhood and so on. And that brings me to the setting of the boundaries, making sure that you are standing in your power and standing in that you are able to verbalize your boundaries without having to explain them or without having to justify them. They simply are.
Right.
So I went to the angelic messenger cards, and the first card that I pulled out was commitment. Make a concerted effort, commit to yourself that you are going to identify where your boundaries are, and you're going to share what those boundaries are with people around you. That doesn't mean you approach them, hand on hip and, listen here, this is the way it's going to be from here on in. No, but you can, as things happen, as things are said, you could say, I don't want to be part of that discussion. I don't agree with that. So I'm not going to be part of that discussion, but, whatever. So that people know what you're about, what you're willing to do and what you're not willing to do. So make that commitment to yourself. You have got the willpower to do this. You just have to believe that you are a child of the universe. You are part of the one. So believe that it is already there for you. You already have it. You just have to accept it. And what is that going to do? That is going to bring out some joy. Mm-hmm. And I noticed, as I didn't spot this before, but the commitment card is number 27.
Ooh.
2 and 7 is 9, the kind of end of things. The willpower card is number 5. The joy card is number 40. 4 and 5 is 9.
Wow.
9 and 9 is 18, which is 9.
This is 9.
So this is kind of everything that you need to know. It's right there. It's just it's like a happy little accident, right? You have what you need. Just believe that you do. Just believe it, because it's there. Yeah.
Exactly.
And Suzanne says we are in a 9-year.
Yes, it's a 9-year, folks. This is a 9-year. Remember, This is a 9-year. You just heard what 9 is. Completion.
Yes.
What do you think we're completing?
Yes.
Well, we're completing a lot of things, but it's
Yes.
really phasing out 3D stuff for sure. Let's
Yes.
just say that. We're purging it
Absolutely.
all out in many different ways. We'll say it like that worldwide, not just for the individual. But I do notice absolutely 100% that the mass consciousness, whatever's going on astrologically or planetarily in any way, shape, or form, I feel a lot of angst, and I feel a lot of kind of, well, I'm going to call it angst, because I was telling Marina backstage that wasn't setting my boundaries for office hours, and my husband, who is my bookkeeper, would come and ask me even at 10:30 at night about business things to do with paperwork and whatnot. And I finally, I'm starting to get, a little fiery about it. But it's not his fault. I was getting a little redheady feisty, and I didn't set my boundaries before this. This had happened time and time again. But all of a sudden in this month, I'm suddenly reacting. And I'm going, holy cow, what is that fireworks? And I realize the intensity of this month. I see it in my husband, the intensity with which he tackles something. It's inside of us, as we're bombarded by all of this shifting energy. So it's not just you and your stuff, it's everything.
Yes.
So, but it's all obviously a catalyst. It really is. But it also made me realize I never set my boundaries and held them by saying, I would say, oh, not right now. I'll deal with it later. I've got a show right now. I would do it like that. Well, now I've set a time every day where I will go ask him, do you have anything you want me to look at? Because at the end of the day, my message is the gravity or weight of events is only what you assign it. What does that mean? It means that him coming to me and saying, blah, 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 what's this problem, blah, 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 find out what this is, and blah, blah, blah. I could just look at him and say, yeah, I'll do that first thing tomorrow or whatever. But no, I didn't. So I will from now on in a calm manner. Yeah. But you just don't realize that all of this angsty energy is coming in. It's coming in along top of your own kind of stuff that's happening. Even though you felt calm that day, you didn't feel agitated by anything. And all of a sudden you got agitated in 2 seconds.
Yes.
That just
because
means
there are so many of us are more connected and are more open to the things that are out there in the ether, because we are spiritually, we are growing. So it is not, it makes perfect sense that even though, I may be calm right now, I may be picking up on somebody else's energy, and that's going to bring up something in me, something that I'm going to have to deal with. And isn't it lovely when even in your dreams you can say, oh no, no. This is the way we're going to do things. That, I will be respectful of you if you are respectful of me.
Yeah.
Anything other than that, no, we're not going to have it. So, yeah, I'm not surprised that you're, this isn't something that would normally be in your wheelhouse, because that's not who you are.
Normally, this would not normally be my
Yes.
reaction. This wouldn't normally happen. These things are not normally happening like that for me. Uh-oh. Tarot reading.
Okay, I think they are. Hold on.
Yeah, I'm going to have to.
Put this. Okay.
I'm going to have to go into the.
Bye, Susie Q.
I have my phone. Oh, here it is.
Although I do have to admit that's funny. He's banned from Burger King for life.
Burger King for life. It's a very important thing.
Yes.
So here's the thing, everyone. I just want to say, seriously, you all, this is not, my husband and I get along so beautifully, and we are really in sync, except this one thing that I didn't set my boundaries for. And I tell him I have office hours. The office was closed. I said, I'm going to post it on the side of my desk when the office is closed. So I'm taking care of that. But at the end of the day, the message that I got really beautifully dovetails into boundaries, which was Marina's exact message for this show, because really, this is what my guide said in meditation today. We really want to discuss weight. And I said, weight? How heavy something is, or waiting for something? What is that? The weight. And then they said the gravity or weight of events is only what you assign it. So having my husband come to me and all of that, I have the opportunity to decide, well, no, we'll just do this later. I am going to give it this much gravity, because why waste my energy on it until I'm ready? It's my own business, right? So
yes,
is the reason for not living in the eternal now moment. All of these things, waiting for the larger unfoldment. So some of us are waiting to see what's going to happen. But you can't live in the now moment if you're waiting to see what's going to happen. And when somebody like my husband came and said, blah, 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 if I was really in the now moment, I would have turned to him and said, I just finished Sisters of the Mystical Tarot, and now my computer's turning off. I'll see you tomorrow with the business problem. But anyway, so
yes,
that is the reason for not living in the eternal now, when you're not in this moment. So speaking with your soul, engaging with the truth and wisdom contained therein, light will flow effortlessly. So when light flows effortlessly, you're like, your boundaries, you're clear in your mind, and your close sign is up.
Yeah. And you can decide what is going to be important. Someone can approach you with something that to them is humongous. You can decide, is it something that you want to drop everything for right now, or is it something that can wait?
Yeah.
And that plays into that our own personal boundaries, in terms of feeling like someone has approached us, and in order to be good, we need to drop everything and concentrate on them.
Yeah, well, absolutely. No. And you know what? Here's the whole thing. They want you to be in your whole self, using your whole self.
Yes.
So embody yourself fully. And what are you doing standing there in your whole self? You're perceiving your reality in a certain way, not with the 3D filter. And what is that? That's, I don't have time right now, or my office is closed, because you're standing in your power place. This is that place where you know who you are, you know what you're doing, and you know what you need to concentrate on. And this is always about being initiated into a higher awareness. And the next two cards I got were Earth and Alchemy. So this is all happening here on Earth. We are all here in this game doing this, or this beautiful creation. We put ourselves here for this experience. And everything can be alchemized, no matter what the situation is. And the best thing and the happiest place for you and everyone else who comes to you is to set your boundaries and set them well. Because when you do that, everyone softly gets,
Yes.
this is your boundary.
Yes.
Oh, that's Val's boundary. That's Marina's boundary for that. Yeah. There isn't any argument. There's no pushing. Well, it's not going to work because she's going to bounce off the boundary, but there's pushing.
Yeah. And people will always live up to your expectations. So if you expect them to act a certain way when they are around you, they will. Yeah. This story goes back a long time ago. But when we first immigrated to Canada, and my sister and I were put into school, we both started off in grade 1. Grade 1 for her because she would have gone into grade 1. Grade 1 for me because I didn't speak English, so I had to learn the language and whatnot. So I spent half a year in grade 1, the other half in grade 2, skipped grade 3, went on to grade 4. And one of the things that my first grade teacher was absolutely impressed with, and she was asking my parents, how did this happen, was the fact that I was writing in cursive. And she was saying, we don't teach that until the 4th or 5th grade. And yet, look, how was she writing? And my parents said, that's just what we do. We expect children when in grade 1, we expect them to know certain things, and, printing and cursive writing, just go along with it. So it's a case of you set the expectation for the child, and the child will do whatever they can to achieve it. It's the same thing with adults.
It is. Right?
You set the expectation, and people will rise up to meet you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that is so true. I love that story about it, because it does explain why now, if we set our standards really high for mathematics or sciences or whatever, kids are learning it. I mean,
they're coding by grade 2 almost.
Seriously, they are. I mean, it's just like, it becomes, apparently we've never asked enough of them to expand their minds, because they are so brilliant, and we didn't realize they could do all this. But it's pretty proven that they can. I just wanted to say hi to a few more people who come in. Sue Toffee, good to see you. And Edward, nice to see you. Lois. And let's see, Denise, good to see you. Tinkerbell, Vicki Howell, Patty, Janet, and let's see, Lauren, we already said hi to. Leah, Lisa, hello, and Arlene, good to see you. Stars, and Susie Q.
Yes, Susie Q, who shared that joke with us. Yay!
Good story.
Yes, and Tinkerbell.
Sonia, and,
Yeah. Michelle, Astrological Tarot.
and
Yeah.
Michelle, Janet Jackson. I
Yes.
think I said hi to Denise Fletcher. Yeah, good to see you
Yes.
all.
Yeah.
And I think that's
Heavenly,
everybody. Yeah.
heavenly blessed.
Joan Baker. Good to see you, Joan. So, yeah.
Yeah. People
So,
will always, always either rise up or lower themselves to whatever your expectation is.
and it's funny, a lot of the times when people do get upset about anything, including me, it's because our boundaries are being encroached on in some way, shape, or form.
Yes.
Think about it. If you got that, if you understood where your boundaries were and you had them firmly in place, it's not just you've got to let everyone know.
Yeah.
You exude it. They just can look at you and read, oh, you don't,
Yeah.
they know. You said it energetically and
Yes.
people will really pick up on it. Hi, Emily.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a pretty amazing how that happens, right? Hi, Amanda Carroll. Late. Yeah,
Nice.
you're never late.
No, never. You're here just in time.
You're just in
Thank
time.
you, Tinkerbell. That's what we try to do. And funny again, we were talking about this before the show, is both Val and I take so much pleasure. You have no idea when someone has taken a course from us and we can see that information is growing with them, and all of a sudden they are boom, they're gone, they're out of the stratosphere. It's like a celebration, like, yay, good for you, go for it. We like to see people be happy. We like to see people be successful. We like to see them be joyful.
Absolutely.
Because, yeah, it brings us pleasure as well. So, yeah.
But it's also, when you are teaching things and other people go off and use their gifts to help others, that's the best thing. I mean, that's just so, it's just so wonderful. I can't even tell you all. Yeah.
No, I can't imagine someone saying that, yeah, no, you learned this from me and you can't share this with anyone else.
Yeah, can you imagine that? Isn't that just silly? Yeah.
That is so anti-spiritual.
Yeah, it's kind of like when you channel a person. Oh, that's my person. No one can channel them?
Yes.
That's a little, I mean.
Adjust your medication. Something's off.
I mean, oh, Jesus is mine, or Yeshua. No one can. No.
Yeah. It doesn't work that way.
It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
You don't own a being who
is
channeling information in. No. Because so just so you all know how funny that is, I don't know if any of you know Daryl Anka Bashar. I listen to some of his channelings, and I always laugh at Bashar. And I'll be sitting there, and Bashar will start coming in to me and talk to me. And I'm sitting there, is that Bashar? And it's Bashar. And he's always there. He comes in occasionally.
Yes.
And we have chit chats. I didn't go see Bashar. He came in when I was listening to his channeling. And he's a being who's helping Earth and all of humanity kind of learn certain things about how this all works. And Theo, Sheila Gillette, I've had Theo come into me without seeking Theo out, just so I listen to a lot of Theo things occasionally, and this information would just come. I didn't solicit it, and nobody owns Theo.
No.
Some people might think they own. I don't know. I don't own Theo. You can't own the archangels.
Yes. Yeah. Or different collectives or anything.
Different collectives.
No.
You don't own them. So
Yeah.
anyway, just so you all know, it's all, you can't copy. Well, you could try and copyright things, but I mean, come on. Does that make sense? But anyway, off that subject. But I just want to say, I just want to say that if you are taught how to read the Akashic records and you thought you could teach the class, teach the class. If
Exactly.
you learn channeling and you thought you could teach channeling, teach
Do it.
channeling. If you
Do it.
thought you were excellent at psychic mediumship and think you can translate that to something someone can understand and learn, get a class going. Do not hold yourself back
Yeah.
thinking you're stepping on anyone's toes, because at the end of the day, we all want more and more and more people out there doing
Yeah.
this kind of work with everyone, because we're going to need a lot of people out there on the dance floor helping people. Right, Marina?
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. And yes, Millie, that is a sign of someone who is unhealed. Yes. Yeah. You don't take ownership of spirituality. And I don't know. Yeah, that's a rabbit hole that, oh man, I could spend days going down and explaining why it doesn't work. But no, we are the more of us that get together, the more of us that are able to put different tools into our tool chest, the more that we are able to share with others and watch others succeed. That is what we're here to do. We are, yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Our job is
Yeah.
to leave you more empowered and feeling better and better about
Yeah.
yourselves, to go out and do whatever it is that you want to do in life. That is the success of I mean, that is my pinnacle of
Yes.
accomplishment. If I have been able to share any information that turns on the information inside of you that you already have inside of you, but you just
Exactly.
it turns it on. And that's what we do for each other.
Yeah.
We do it back and forth all the
Gladly. Gladly.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So
Yeah.
anyway, yeah, it's a free. It's free. It's a free. What? You can't own ether.
No. No. No.
You can't own the Galactic Federation. You can't.
No.
Oh.
No.
Yeah.
There's just, yeah. You know what? I think that yeah, that is a very egotistical problem.
Yeah.
That is that
But
is very rooted in ego, in
Yeah.
holding on really tight. No, this is mine. You can't have it. You can't touch it. I don't want to share it with you because it's mine.
Yeah, and I love that Carol or Linda rather said absolutely, it's not about me, it is about all. Exactly, and that very sentiment is what we're talking about. It's the all.
Yes.
This whole thing is about we are one.
Yes.
We are that one in the all that is.
Yes.
So that would be like telling a brother or sister, oh no, this is my toy. You can't have my toy.
Yeah.
Only I can have my toy.
Only I am spiritual. Only I am enlightened. You may sit in the shadow of my enlightenment, but don't ever try to claim it for yourself.
It's really true. It's really true. So
yes, Garnet, everything that lives is holy. Absolutely.
Every single thing, absolutely 100%. And so that's why we honor all living things, honor even a rock, a sentient rock, or a planet, or whatever it is. Everything has consciousness, everything has sentience, and everything needs to be respected, or should be, not needs to be, but should be. by all of us because it is part of us, and we would be rejecting part of us were we not being inclusive of everything.
Okay, stop. Listen, now you're getting violent, okay?
I'm hitting my mic. I'm like, I must be part Italian, but I'm not.
Yes. That's okay.
These hands have to move no matter what.
Uh-huh. I'm kind of the same way myself.
They
Yes.
gotta move. They gotta, I'm expressive with the hands. But
yes.
Yeah.
We are all little triplets of the ocean of love. Oh, Tinkerbell, yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are.
It's in the ocean of love. That is really true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And together we multiply love. We don't, love doesn't divide, it multiplies.
Thank you. And what's expansive? What feels expansive? And what doesn't feel expansive? That's all you have to think about. Does this expand me? Does this expand the energy for me?
Yes.
You know, when you're listening to things or you're listening to the many channelings and things on YouTube, what expands you and what feels contracting? That's kind of a measure for whether you want to soak something up or not. Put it that way. So,
Michelle, that is very, very interesting.
So the new moon is our nakshatra.
In our nakshatra, yeah.
Nakshatra and sidereal Aquarius. I don't even know.
Shadabishak. Yeah.
Cheers
for letting go of the old and bringing in new beginnings. Yeah, the moon is all about healthy boundaries and healing.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. And Michelle and I, we share the we share the same moon. Astrologically, we share a lot of the same things, as does Allie.
Interesting.
The three of us, have a lot of that in common. So it's like, yes.
A little, little trio powerhouse.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I love that.
And it absolutely is about about boundaries and about letting go. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
I can do this. No, I can't do that. And yes, heavenly bless. Remember on Saturday, remember the cinnamon.
Cinnamon. I have to try and remember. Because you know what? What if it does work?
It does. It does.
Get that cinnamon out, put a little in your hand, palm, stand in front of your door, say, whatever you want to bring in and blow it into your entry. And then what is it your back door going out? What can you do? Say,
you can release whatever needs to be
longer needed.
Yeah. To go.
Release now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And Maureen, you're probably picking up at like we were saying initially, is because more and more of us are becoming aware. We're becoming more enlightened and whatnot. We're hearing when spirit is talking to us. We're also picking up on other people's energy, right? So sometimes when you're feeling off, it's because you are picking up on somebody else's energy. And a good thing to do is just when you recognize it, stop what you're doing, sit quietly for a minute and say, okay, is this mine or does it belong to someone else? Exactly. And just listen to the voice inside your head. It will tell you immediately, no, this is yours or it's somebody else's. And then okay, I can go in and I can find out what it is. And if it belongs to someone else, okay, then I send it off. It's not mine. It belongs to someone else. What does that do? That sets your boundaries, right?
That's boundaries. Like we were talking, I mean, almost anything that it makes you angry or irritates you or makes you feel a certain way, those are usually boundary things. And there it is. That may not even hit you as a boundary, and it is.
Yes.
Yeah, that is your
Yep.
boundary. Yeah. So I love that.
Totally.
And
Totally. And they're lovely. They're,
yeah,
I have a very healthy respect for boundaries. And I wish that I had learned about boundaries a lot earlier in my life.
yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
but I learned it at a time exactly when I was supposed to. So
Yeah, absolutely.
no regrets.
No regrets.
No regrets.
No regrets. Everything falls in place when you
Yeah.
need it and when it needs to.
Yes.
And yeah, it's not like we have to effort through any of this anyway. We already are all that, and what we're doing is just making a conscious awareness of
Mhm.
when somebody comes to you and wants to talk about work, but it's time to go home. You can say, "Oh, we'll talk about this tomorrow. Thank you.
Yes.
Just leave it on my desk."
Yes. Absolutely. And yeah, Maureen, you could
Don't
very well
regret.
be picking up on the anxiety. I know that a lot of people
Mm.
are feeling that anxiety, and that is, like I was saying in the beginning, some of us that kind of grew up in a certain era,
Yeah.
um, we may not have lived through the depression, but we were very young when we heard people talking perhaps about World War II, about the Korean War, about different things that were going on, and we picked up some of that anxiety and kind of stored it away, didn't know what to do with it, and it becomes part of cell memory. And now that some of the things that we're witnessing, they're just bringing that up to the
Yeah.
surface, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So we can examine it and say, okay, wait a minute. That might have been true then. I choose to see things differently now. And then
Yeah.
we move forward.
And
We make adjustments.
that is like rewriting your story. That's what it is. And, whether you're going back into the past and imagining a different outcome or a different whole thing there, that's also rewriting your story. There's a lot of ways you can do that and participate in that. And it's just could be as simple as just like Marina's always saying, you can just say, "Oh, no, I don't," you're not in agreement with what that ego mind just said. No,
Doesn't work for me.
doesn't work.
Yeah.
So,
And yeah, really, yeah. Our parents were raised during those times. So, they passed them down to us without realizing that that's exactly what they were doing.
they
All
did.
they were doing was having conversations with each other.
But we got it was programmed in by all the things, all of our environment, everything we heard, saw, felt.
Yes,
We took it in. And
absolutely.
yeah, it's really
Absolutely.
true. Yeah.
I'll share with you guys one of the things that that I used to do, and it took a while to realize what I was doing, but in a number of years ago, whenever I had unexpected money or extra money, the first thing that I would do is go to the grocery store and I would buy as much stuff as I could. Fresh fruit, fresh vegetables, fresh this, fresh that. I wasn't able to consume it all, and a lot of it would end up in the garbage.
Yeah.
But that was my thing that I had to do. And I realized where that came from by kind of, going inwards and examining and why,
Mhm.
that I grew up in Croatia when it was the former Yugoslavia.
Mhm.
You didn't go to the grocery store. You went to the butcher, you went to the baker, you went to these
Right.
individual little places. You didn't go in and take a look around and say, oh, I'll have some of this and I'll have some. Oh, can I get 2 of those? No, you stood outside and you went in one by one.
Mhm.
When your turn came up and you got in there, you got what they gave you.
Yeah. If they
So
were out of something, you didn't get anything.
you didn't get it. That was it. So, you know, you never knew what you were going to have for supper until Mom showed up and, oh yeah, well, you know, this is what I had left,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So that was very that not having a choice, or feeling like when I got to the head of the line that there wouldn't be any.
Yeah.
That was what kind of triggered all those memories in me. So yes, as soon as I had some extra money or whatnot, yes, I had to make sure that my cupboards were full, that
Right.
my fridge was absolutely full.
Yeah.
It took a while to let that go.
Because I mean, that would be kind of a big trauma.
Yes.
To make you have the anxiety to
Yeah.
have to do that, to have to feel that. And it could be people who experienced a
Yes.
mother who had grown up, like my Aunt Edna in the UK. She grew up during the war where they sent the children away from London, and she hardly had anything. Maybe she'd have a potato to eat and once a day or something. She was like that. She would just stuff everything. She'd buy, you know, 12 pairs of shoes for one kid. Hopefully they could wear those 12 pair for the next 12 years, because that's what she would do. She would hoard and buy, whether it's food or anything. And she really never got over that. Yeah. She would go, I know this sounds really bizarre, but my mother is the one who told me this story. They would go eat at a buffet at one of those expensive, you pay, you know,
Yes.
X amount of dollars, $30, and you get to eat anything, breakfast, you know, brunch. And my aunt would keep going back and going back, but she'd go to the bathroom in between.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, you know what she was doing.
Yeah. Yeah. She needed to eat that much. She needed to have that, consuming that. So she'd just get rid of it.
Yes.
I mean, that's a deep trauma that she experienced in her childhood, going through that.
Exactly.
She didn't. She never got over it because she never really realized.
No, that's just it. And it's very freeing when you're able to realize some of those things, some of those tapes that, you know, repeatedly play in the back of your head, that the grocery store is going to be there tomorrow.
Yeah.
And there's going to, you know, they do have more than one loaf of bread, and they do have more than one basket of tomatoes.
Yeah.
And so on. And to to not feel the need to do that, to have stuff.
Yeah.
Just
exactly.
Yeah.
And Seascape is saying, as a single mother back in the day, all food was portioned out to last. Still have that tendency. Yeah, it's hard to break that idea that you have to conserve and you have to be careful with it all. And you have to, this is how much you get because this is for this day and this is for that day. And and Maureen saying, I grew up with my stepmother canning with my grandma, who survived the Depression. We were poor, but we didn't know it. That's how my mom and my aunt were growing up with my grandma, who would she could make out of nothing in the kitchen. She could make an unbelievable meal. I don't know how she did it. Even as a kid, I would go, oh, we don't have anything in the house for dessert or for this or that. And she would just concoct magic out of nothing. I don't know how she did it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that was, you just did, right? There was no choice. You just did.
Absolutely. Suzanne says, I knew things were bad when Mom didn't take me to the grocery with her. Then she came home with the brown paper bags with groceries and sadness on her face. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's true. You know, when you have to watch every time, you have to make sure you know what you're putting in your bag, how much it's going to cost, and what the end result of the tab will be that you have enough money to pay for it. Imagine that. I haven't done that in many 50
Yes.
years at least.
Yes.
Oh
Yeah.
God.
Or planning your meals. Today we're having we're having spaghetti with spaghetti sauce.
Yes.
Tomorrow I'm going to add beans to the leftovers and we're going to have chili.
And
then,
you know, whatever leftovers there, we'll make a beef stock stew or, you know, or soup, you know, whatever. It's like, yeah.
Suzanne, she probably did. And
probably, sure. That's probably what she did, because she didn't want you to know the two bags of groceries, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
And you know, thank God for food banks. And I give to our local food bank, Foursquare, here in the Las Vegas Henderson area, because they are for families and they give groceries away. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because no one should go hungry.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Sonia says, I always felt like Gone with the Wind, my mom was a cook and always something out of nothing. Yeah. It's really true. I mean, some people could just whip up. I mean, they could whip up a souffle. They could whip up a lemon sponge.
Yes.
You know, jelly roll. And you go, what? Phenomenal things. I mean, phenomenal things. And you're like, what? We didn't have that in the house.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
I thought you have a driver in the kitchen. Exactly. Artist was. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely. So yeah, thank you all for sharing everything. It's so beautiful to share some of those memories and understand how we might have gotten to some of our and sometimes we aren't imprinted by that. We'll be imprinted with our dad's stuff. But usually, you know, you can be imprinted by both parents for this or that. It depends, you know. Some people say you get the things from your mom. Well, I got stuff from my dad.
Absolutely.
Actions and things that I wish I didn't have, but I do have them from my dad, and things from my mom as well. So those are the kind of things. Yeah.
And the good news is, even those things that were unpleasant, we survived.
We do.
We survived and we lived to talk about it. So whatever might be feeling and might be out there that is challenging you right now, just know that this too shall pass.
Absolutely.
Keep positive. Keep your eye focused on the finish line and on the light, and don't let anyone try to pull you off your path. You know where you're going.
Exactly.
And just carry on.
That's it. Carry on, because you keep one step in front of the other, and you just keep walking and looking at all the beautiful miracles that are happening all around you every day. Look at everything that way and see the beauty in everything, because more will come. And it's really a true thing. So thank you all for joining us, and be sure to like and subscribe. It'll be on Marina's Heart Center Tarot next week for episode 116. So, oh my goodness.
You know, I keep seeing us getting together saying, well, thank you
for joining us for
episode 1160. And I know some of you are still going to be here. We embrace you. We embrace you. Oh, before we let you go, I'm going to share my T-shirt with you guys.
I love that. I finished my free trial of adulthood, and I'd like to cancel my my subscription.
Okay. All right.
I love that, everyone.
Everyone can have a good night.
We are going to say good night, and thank you for joining us. We'll see you on Marina's channel next week.
Absolutely.
Bye-bye, everyone. Love to you all.
Bye now.
Okay.